What's up, y'all? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video. And tonight I'm going to do Storytime Part 4. So, yeah, just going to be kind of a chill stream tonight. So, hope everybody is doing well. And I hope that, you know, during, you know, any times of crisis you may have, that you know that you're not alone. And you may be saying, well, why am I saying this during Storytime Part 4? Well, because of what one of these stories is about, is kind of why I said that. But anyway, yeah. So if you like the type of content that I create, make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification, all that stuff, right? Or don't, whatever. Anyway, so in my last 3 Storytime videos, I talked about quite a bit of things that's like happened to me, or things that, you know, I've done, I did like back then, you know, as like a kid or teenager, you know, like just different random stuff, really. And you know, it's times have really changed. But anyway, the first thing that I want to talk about is actually something quite sad. And so I went to the grocery store, and in the town I used to live in, right? And you know, I did a lot of growing up there, and had a lot of fun times there, stuff like that. Anyway, now I had found my old place where I live on Google Maps, right? And you know, I took a picture of it, like back in the year that I did live there. And you know, I was going to the grocery store, and I was like, you know what? I want to go up and see, you know, this place now. So I took my wife over there. You know, we just kind of chatted and talked about things, you know, certain things I did, you know, when I was young and there. And, you know, looking at the apartments, you know, and it really don't all look all that much too different, really. I mean, it does a little bit, but like, I wouldn't say on the scale of like it was like a massive difference. I mean, it was very mild at best, and that's at best. Like, it really wasn't all that much of like a change, so to say. Anyway, went up there and passed by my old apartment that I lived in, and there was some kids playing out there. And you know, it was really nice to see children out playing, because you know, like the whole thing with the phones, the socials, and you know, they was just sitting there playing with their siblings. You know, I was like, that's really cool. You know, I miss those days. You know, but anyway, you know, I was going by looking at the old apartment, and I was looking at some, you know, other old apartments where my friends used to live, and it was just, I don't know, it was very it was very nostalgic, so to say. It was very nostalgic, and you know, I miss those days. I really do. You know, times were simpler. Plus, you know, like it's like, you know, when you're growing up as a kid and going into teenage years, stuff like that. You know, it's that's a very important time in your life, I feel like, and but anyway, you know, after I did that, you know, I was like, you know what, I need to go to the cemetery. So I went to the cemetery and went and visited two old friends, two of which, you know, I was very close with. And, you know, I went and visited my friend I talked about on here that was in a car accident that got hit by a drunk driver. I went and visited her, and I went and visited another classmate of mine that was a good friend. She died of cancer at a very, very young age, like 16 years old. And, you know, like I was just sitting there thinking, like, you know, just kind of thinking about like the loss and just different things, really, and just honestly thinking about, like, you know, I wish those two girls were still here. I wish they were still here, and you know, but the thing is they're not. But I had found some really good stuff at Walmart. I plan on sharing that on video soon. Also, before I get more into the topics, I did finish 2 tier lists videos. I'm probably gonna do the third one tonight that I had tried to record last night, but for some reason it did not record. Got everything fixed and stuff now, so. But anyway, you know, back to the story time. Like, you know, another thing too is I got like flashbacks of, like, you know, when you know, times, not only that, but not just that times were simpler, but like, you know, like, I don't know, just different stuff. Like, you know, I recently got a picture of me when I was 10 years old, and it's like, you know, I look so different now. You know, like, I don't know, it's just really nostalgic for me, but like, I wish that, I wish times were still simpler, but like I said, you know, the kids playing outside that I saw, you know, that was, that's honestly something I have not seen in a very, very long time. You know, and it was really great to see and hear that again. Like, because, you know, back in the day, you know, there was a lot of kids playing outside, whether it's playing like hide and go seek or whatever games, you know, we thought of really in our mind. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's just like, you know, the phones have took over everything, bro. The socials. But another thing is like, you know, when you grow up some into your teenage years, and then like early adulthood, which is your 20s, your 30s. I would even argue 40s is early adulthood. But, you know, you start to learn things differently than, you know, when you were a kid. Like, you know, you're being stereotyped, you know, you're having to deal with, you know, narcissistic people, or, you know, it's something, right? You know, there's always something to try to rain down upon your parade. And, you know, I was just thinking, you know, times used to be so much simpler back then. And, you know, I went also by the old strip mall, and, you know, so many of them businesses that, you know, were there when, you know, I was a teenager, they're gone. You know, they went under, and, you know, it's a shame to see that, you know. And there's other towns I've been to that's like this too, that, you know, places I once went in are just gone. Like, I mean, just gone. And it's just very sad and unfortunate, obviously, but anyway, the kind of the first story that I want to tell, is actually, you know, kind of, I don't think of how to word this. I don't know how I'd word this. Really, you switched out again? Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and tell it. Anyway, you know, I remember, one thing I remember is, you know, playing Budokai Tenkaichi 1 on the PS2, right? I remember for the life of me, there was this mission. You know, I was just thinking back on this earlier today, and, you know, there's this mission to where, like, you know, like in the show, Hercule, like, kind of survives against, like, Kid Buu a little bit. And it's like, you know, in this game, there was, like, a mission to where you had to survive against Kid Buu as Hercule. And, you know, for the life of me, this mission took me forever to beat. Like, it was actually more harder than you think. Like, because it's like, you know, you can't really attack him. Like, I mean, you can, but it just doesn't really do any good damage or nothing. But, you know, you'll attack him, and he'll just like, you know, kind of dodge out the way, obviously, because like he's quicker, and you know, he's doing so much damage to Hercule already, and it's like you have to survive like so many. I think it's like a 3-minute mission, 2 or 3 minute mission, and you know, I remember like the struggle that I had with this, you know, way back when, right? And you know, it's like I miss those days, you know, because I remember when things were just really, really simple. Dang it. I don't know, I just really miss when things were simpler because, you know, there wasn't like all this political crap going on. There wasn't like just a lot of things, you know, that used, you know, it's like, you know, take a looking back, you know, like groups that like, you know, damn Piccolo. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch probably. Come on. Anyway, like, yeah, you know, I really miss times like that because it's like, you know, the times, you know, when you're younger, bro, like, you know, that kind of defines who you are in a way. And what I mean by that, how are you teleporting that many damn times, bro? Get out of here. Anyway, it just makes you think because, you know, when you're young, like I said, your life experiences at that age really honestly do kind of define you because, you know, it helps you grow into the person, you know, you're meant to be. Sure, you may do some stupid stuff and stuff like that, but like, you know, another thing too is like, you know, 2026, honestly, in my opinion, you know, it really needs to really chill out. It really needs to chill out because so many people, you know, that I know of, or know, whatever you want to call it, they're getting cancer, bro. Like, it's like, you know, I don't know what's going on with this year. I have no idea, but, you know, whatever 2026 is on, it needs to just chill the hell out because, you know, I don't know if anybody knows it, but, like, Satoshi died, and, you know, he helped, like, do visuals for, like, One Punch Man, Rising of the Shield Hero, stuff like that, like, all kinds of anime, right? And, you know, he died at, like, in his 40s of cancer, bro. And it's like, you know, that right there, bro, that is too young to die, man. That's too young to die, and it's just, it's just very sad, and I've been kind of thinking about this because, like I mentioned before, this girl that I knew, that she was a really kind, sweet, gentle soul. You know, she was actually a Christian. She, you know, if someone was good to her, you know, she would always put them first. Stuff like that. And, you know, this girl, like, you know, I don't know, like, I feel like that, you know, she didn't deserve to die that young. Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down didn't deserve to die that young. Satoshi didn't deserve to die that young. I could go on for people who, you know, had cancer, done seppuku. You know, I could go on you know, and it's like all of the good, talented people, like really good, talented people, people who are actually genuinely good at something. It's like they're all going, bro. You know, they're all. I don't know what's going on, bro. Like, I really don't. I wish I did, but like, you know, I woke up to the news about Satoshi dying. And, you know, it's just like, it really bothered me, bro. You know, and I'm also dealing with still the loss of Brad Arnold from the band Three Doors Down. That right there, I'm completely devastated. I don't really know what to even say about his death because Brad Arnold was literally my childhood. Like, you know, my childhood, you know, like I'm talking on a music standpoint, like, you know, in America, but like, it died when he did, bro. Like, you know, I always loved Three Doors Down as like, you know, a kid. I always loved them as a teenager, and then still here to my early adulthood. And it's like, you know, it's I don't know, bro. It just really reminds me of like when Chester Bennington died of seppuku, but I don't know. It's really got me depressed. I'll be honest. I'm sorry if I seem kind of slow on this video, but like it's you know, the whole thing with Satoshi's got me quite down. You know, this was someone that I respected as a, you know, as a person. You know, he was someone that you know, I sort of looked up, you know, basically looked up to. You know, and I just have a lot of mad respect for the guy. But anyway, I just wish that this would stop happening. I don't know what 2026 is on, but it needs to stop. I mean, there's so many other people I can name, but I'm not. This isn't really about that. But like, basically, my reason for mentioning this goes back to, you know, I visited my friend at the gravesite. You know, she died of cancer at 16. You know, back a long time ago. You know, well, not a long time ago. I guess I need to stop saying that. You know, back when I was a little younger. You know, and you know, a teenager, obviously, and I don't know. I've been thinking about her quite a lot, and you know, I really miss her kind, gentle spirit around. You know, because it's just, I don't know, it's brutal, y'all. Like, oh, sorry, I did not see y'all commenting. I apologize. I'm sick and tired of good, talented people dying. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Wish cancer would go away. Yeah, me too, bro. I wish cancer would go away, and I wish that, you know, seppuku would stop. But sadly, neither one is going to stop because there's just too much stuff going on. And as far as the seppuku and stuff goes, but bro, he keeps blocking. What the heck? Okay, I'm coming to you, bro. Anyway, but yeah, like, you know, I just remember, you know, I was actually talking to a guy on the phone the other day from my old library I used to go to, right? And he still works there, bro. Like, he still works there. And I said, hey, I said, you know, I don't know if you remember me, but, you know, we used to talk all the time. And I told him my name, and he was, man, he lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, you know, he talked about how he really missed me, you know, talking to me in there. You know, he misses those days. And I said, yeah, I know. And I said, I told him my age now, and he was like, man, he was like, time flies. And he said, not saying you're old or anything. And I was like, oh no, man, I know. It's like I was a teenager yesterday in a way, but yeah, and he's like, oh, you ought to come see me, at the library. And I was like, I said, you still working down there? And he was like, yep, been working down here ever since the 80s. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So I'm hoping to go see him soon, and I really liked the talks I had with him. Obviously, he's very good to talk to. And stuff, but why'd you send a sad emoji, Rosa? Oh, probably to the Satoshi thing, right? But like, I just really miss old times, because I have so many memories, and just thinking about this girl that I knew who unfortunately had cancer. And when I was young, there was also this couple, this black family that lived by me, and they were pretty cool. Well, one day the mother got up to get her 6-year-old daughter on the school bus. Right now, I was I should say this. I was about 14, just turned 14. And this mother found her 6-year-old daughter just dead in the bed. And I thought to myself, that right there is, I could not imagine that type of pain. I really couldn't. Like, 6 years old and you died. That's brutal, bro. That right there, it sucks, bro. Like, that right there, I don't know if this girl had cancer or what was wrong with her, but this girl died at 6. And this girl was very energetic at the bus stop, stuff like that, and because we all stood at the same bus stop, right? And I don't know, like, just really thinking about stuff like that, from back then, as like, I don't know, it just really just like, man, that's really sad, bro. Like, it's like, I just miss when times were simpler. But even back then, death was still a problem, obviously. But, it's just like, I don't know, people cared more back then, bro. That's kind of what I'm getting at. People, they cared more. And it's just, another thing, too, is like, I'm wanting to go by like my old school again. The one where I used to live, that I had many fond memories from. Like the one that, I told everybody about, like, I chose that Hannah Montana movie and stuff like that. That school there, I've been really wanting to go see it. And stuff like that. But I don't know, bro. Like, it just really makes me think of like old times and stuff. But anyway, like, so going back to what I was saying, I really got off track with this. But even though I was telling like a story, but You know, back when, you know, on the PS2, you know, when Budokai Tenkaichi 1 came out, you know, I remember the fight to where you had to be Hercule and, you know, you had to survive against Kid Buu here. Like, that mission for the life of me was just, I don't know, it was so infuriating. Like, because back then, you know, it's like, it was hard. You know, now I could do it with probably my hands tied behind my back, but, you know, when you first played it, you wasn't really, like, expecting that, you know. Like your first playthrough through the game, you wasn't expecting to have to use Hercule to survive against Kid Buu, you know, as like a mission. And, you know, it's just... Dang. Calm down there, Zamasu. I don't know, it really just, like, it's very nostalgic, but, like, it's like, you know, it was so hard, though, back in the day to do that mission for the first time because, you know, like all the things I said, and then plus, not to top it off, like, you mean, like, you know, you also, like, had to find a way, like, around, like, his attack that I'm using here, like, his planet burst attack, like, you know, he would use that, like, a lot, you know, like, basically, I mean, like, you know, when you was doing the mission, he would eventually use that attack, and it's like, you know, you got to figure out, like, how to kind of get out of the way of that, which is extremely hard with Hercule, honestly. So, I mean, it's just, I remember those days, bro. Like, I remember them like they were yesterday, and I remember getting so agitated at that mission, and, you know, thinking, like, man, how the hell do you beat this? Like, you're freaking Hercule. And you had to beat this mission to progress. Like, it was a story mission, right? Like, you know, you had to beat it to progress through the other fights to get, like, Goku versus Kid Buu and such. Like, it was a mission that was, like, it was a pain in the butt. But, like, you know, I just remember playing that for the first time, and, sorry, I had to get a drink there. That was hard at first. Yeah, it really was. But it's like, you know, not only that, but, like, you know, I remember even playing that one with, like, people I once considered friends, you know, back then. You know, just people that I considered friends, obviously, back then. You know, playing that back then in the day, you know, same with, like, some Medal of Honor, right? You know, like, not much on shooter games like that, like those, but, like, you know, Medal of Honor was honestly really fun. You know, I enjoyed playing it. You know, I'll tell you another game, you know, me and my buddy used to play all the time. It was like Ace Combat for the PS2. Like, I think it was like Ace Combat 5, I believe. And, you know, I remember, you know, we just sitting there laughing because he did, like, this thing to where, like, he just appeared out of nowhere and got me and struck me down. And, you know, we would sit there and laugh about it, cut up, and, you know, just have a fun time, like a really good time. And it's just, you know, those days are gone, bro. You know, I miss those days. But like, those people obviously weren't real friends. You know, they did not stay in my life. They came and they went, and you know, it all goes back to the thing I said in my last video. You know, you have to spend 50 hours. And even in some cases, not even that works. But like, you know, you have to spend 50 hours for a person to like go from an acquaintance to a friend. That is, if they truly care about you. If they don't truly care about you, then it doesn't matter. You know, it's never going to happen. But it's just, okay, there's some dog barking outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, you know, I don't know. I just really miss good times, y'all. I really do. And I don't really have like a lot of stories I want to tell in this video, but like, you know, I just kind of wanted to mention like some stuff I did the other day, and just some stuff I've been thinking about. You know, I've been thinking about, obviously, you know, things to do with like God, just life in general, and just, I don't know, how I'm afraid to die. You know, it honestly scares the hell out of me. I don't want to die young. You know, you've seen these shirts around. It says "Live fast, die young," and I'm thinking to myself, like, these people are crazy. You know, obviously that is a person who wants to party all the time, get drunk, stuff like that, that wears stuff like that. But I just, that's not me. You know, I don't care about that. I do not want to die young, bro. Like, I want to live to be old, bro. Like, I honestly would like I pray, you know, me and my wife live to be old. Like, I'm talking like at least 70s or 80s. I mean, at least, bro. Like, I don't guess I could probably get lucky enough to get to 100, I guess, since I have like depression and anxiety and whatnot, but I mean, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know, man, like, come on, stop blocking. Okay, he's still blocking. Am I okay? I guess I'll be alright, Rosa. I don't know, I've just been kind of really deep in thought, honestly, to be honest. Just about some things and whatnot, but like, it's just brutal. Like, a lot of things are brutal. Like, I had a guy ask me a question about Access Men earlier today, and I was like, he's a buddy of mine, and he's like, you know, I'm kind of curious about this, and this, you know. I was like, you know, well, when you get on Party Chat tonight, we'll talk about it. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, you know, my view of friends is more genuine than a lot of other people's view. I mean, I'm not saying you, Rosa, like, I know you view friends, you know, kind of a lot in the same light that I do. But, like, it's just, none of us want to die young. I disagree there, bro. I think a lot of people don't mind to die young. I mean, if that was the case, these people who like partying, drinking, smoking it up, doing dope, you know, they wouldn't be doing that, you know. And to top it all off, they, you know, wouldn't be wearing shirts that says "Live fast, die young." Do I think sane people want to die young? Absolutely not. I think sane people obviously want to live to be old. But you know, it's just, I don't know, it's really brutal. some things I don't know, y'all. I've just been thinking. I guess this video is freaking stupid. I don't know. But like, he got me. I don't know. I guess this video is stupid, but like, I mean, I just, I don't know. I guess I'm a very critical thinker, and I don't know. I guess I'm a bit of a pessimist. I guess, you know. At least that's what I guess I assume. You know. But it's like, you know, life is just a very beautiful thing, and it's like, you know, seeing all these like talented people die, or just, you know, innocent people die, just, I don't know, really upsets me. Like, there was a thing, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm against Israel or none of this, or that I'm for Iran. You know, I'm not really going to get onto that kind of topic, but I've seen a thing. Apparently there was an Iranian missile that was launched, and it struck a school in Iran that killed like 40 girls, and young girls too at that. Like they were just in school or whatever or something. I don't know, but like I heard a little bit about it. It's just like, I don't know, bro. Like that really just. People like that, you know, that are young like that, you know, I don't know. I don't think they deserve to have their life. I mean, I don't think anybody does, but like, you know, that's like, unless they're like truly evil or something, but life is just a beautiful thing. You only get to experience it once, and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, anyway, as I was saying, I remember growing up not thinking about stuff like that, bro. Not thinking about, you know, when you go to bed, am I gonna wake up tomorrow? You know, that's a reality, a real reality for me. But that's terrible. What's terrible? But like, you know, yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess I just cherish my life a lot. You know, the Saw movies have really helped me with that, honestly. You know, I used to hate my life, to be honest, and those movies changed me for the better. You know, I'm eternally grateful for those movies. But you know, and another thing, like anime is changing for the better. You know, other like Otaku stuff, like other stuff from Japan or whatnot, even Korea and all them. But like, you know, the harsh reality is these people, they want to start wars, but they won't feed the poor. And it's just like, you know, that is so unfortunate, man. I don't know, man. Like, I wish that, I don't know. This video's stupid. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry for being a Debbie Downer, I guess, or wasting your guys' time. Like and subscribe, I guess. Yeah. On another note, this is a really hot woman here. Yeah. Oh, the thing I said about Iran. Gotcha. Yeah, that is unfortunately sad. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna end this one here. You know, like I said, like and subscribe, I guess, or no, or don't. I don't know, this video's stupid. Anyway, peace.